From Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
Got a new tornado warning for parts of western Baldwin County, including all of the eastern shore. Good Tuesday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson. It's the latest in a series of tornadoes on this Tuesday evening, and this is a big one. Big call to action for parts of Baldwin County. If you are in Point Clear, Fairhope, Daphne, or Spanish Fort, you are now under an active tornado warning. This is a tornado warning that's just coming on the board, being issued by the National Weather Service in Mobile in the last few moments. And this is a possible tornado due to a water spout currently on Mobile Bay that's about to move into areas near Point Clear. We need you to take imminent action to protect life and property if you are at Fairhope, Daphne, or Spanish Fort, as this possible tornado is going to move in very quickly from the southwest, moving rapidly at about 50 miles per hour. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday evening. This is the latest in a series of tornado warnings that we have had over the last few hours, and this is going to be for parts of Baldwin County. Let's actually turn off the radar data and show you exactly who is involved in this, because this tornado warning polygon does include a large area of population here along the eastern shore. If I call you out, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan right now. Don't wait. You need to get to the lowest floor of a site-built structure, away from windows and away from doors. The idea is to put as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. And again, if you are in Point Clear, Fairhope, Daphne, Spanish Fort, areas near Lake Forest, Stapleton, Loxley, Bromley, also areas near Crossroads and Holly Hills. Those are the areas involved in this new tornado warning, valid until 10:15 p.m. The possible tornado is now very near Point Clear. Let's turn on the radar data and we'll show you that in action, looking at the latest data from the National Weather Service. We'll zoom in real tight and show you where the possible tornado is. Classic hook echo on radar here. You can kind of see the hook right here, and your possible tornado is going to be right in through here, coming into areas near the Grand Hotel right now. So if you are within 5 miles of the Grand Hotel at Point Clear, Alabama in Baldwin County, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan right now. Same thing at Fairhope, and I don't care where you are in the city limits of Fairhope, Alabama, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan. Again, lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors. We want you to put as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. In fact, if you are in any part of the eastern shore, Montrose, Daphne, Spanish Fort, Fairhope, Point Clear, this is what you need to be doing. Best possible thing on this list: put on a tornado helmet. Most injuries in tornadoes happen because of blunt force trauma to the head, and so you need something to protect your head. If you don't have a helmet, that's okay. Make a makeshift helmet out of a cooking pot. I know it sounds crazy, but it absolutely could save your life. So again, make it happen if you're along the eastern shore in Baldwin County. This is what you want to be doing right now. Again, possible tornado at Point Clear, water spout emerging from Mobile Bay, coming into areas near the Grand Hotel and Scenic Highway 98 right in through here. This is basically going to enter the southern side of Fairhope and come right up towards the downtown area. Let's zoom in real tight and we'll talk about some of the landmarks in here. This is a cell that is rapidly moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So again, just to get your bearings straight, the Grand Hotel sits right here at Point Clear. The airport is here. This is going to be Alabama Highway 181 in through here. If you are near the Fairhope Walmart, all right, that's on the eastern side of town, out here on 181. We need you to be in a safe place. This is US Highway 98 right here, which runs right by downtown Fairhope. The major landmarks in through here, you've got Bone and Barrel, the restaurant. You've also got areas near McSherry's, Tamara's, all the restaurants here in downtown Fairhope. If you live within 5 miles of downtown Fairhope, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan right now. Let's go up a little bit farther. You get to Alabama Highway 104 that connects the eastern shore back over to Silver Hill. And Silver Hill is not included in the tornado warning polygon. So if you're at Silver Hill, you are okay right now. Same thing at Robertsdale, Summerdale, Clay City, back down to Foley. All those areas are okay at this point. The issues are strictly going to be here along the eastern shore of Mobile Bay and points to the north. If you're in Montrose, Daphne, or Spanish Fort, I realize your weather is okay at the moment, but you need to be getting into that tornado safe shelter now, as this tornado is, or possible tornado, I should say, is rapidly moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So on that trajectory, this is going to be in or near Montrose in the next 5 minutes. Same thing at Daphne along 64, right in through here. From the Target and the Chick-fil-A right there at Daphne, all the way back over to the little fruit stand there on Alabama Highway 181. If you live near that area, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan. Same thing up here near Lake Forest and also Spanish Fort near the interstate. Interstate 10 is that thicker line right there. You've got the Home Depot, the Hobby Lobby, the Taco Mama, areas near Spanish Fort, the Rouse's grocery store, all the way back over to the Eastern Shore Center there at Malbus. All those areas, if you live within 5 miles of any of those places, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan right now. Tag someone who may be less weather aware than you. I guarantee you there are folks in this tornado warning polygon that don't have a clue that this is happening. And I know that's hard to believe in the year 2022, but we still find that so many people are not heeding these warnings like they should have. And so, again, what we're telling you is if you know someone that may be in Daphne, Fairhope, Spanish Fort, Point Clear, Montrose, Malbus, all the way up to Stapleton and Holly Hills, the country club right there on the western side of Alabama Highway 59. Those areas also involved. Same thing at Bromley, all right, near the Veterans Cemetery out here on Alabama Highway 225. That area also under the gun from this possible tornado. So be in a safe place. And again, if you know someone in those areas, tag them in the comments below. We have done so much study into this, and I'm telling you, you can be the hero in a situation like this. If there's a tornado on the ground and you tag someone and they see it pop up on their phone, that lets them know that they need to get sheltered. We encourage you to do that now if you are in or know someone in Baldwin County that would be involved in this active tornado warning. Let me show you the entire region quickly because we do have more storms on the way. This is a storm that has fired up out ahead of the main batch of storms that's still back here in Mississippi. These storms are currently under severe limits that are coming into Washington and ultimately Mobile counties. And fortunately, the storms in northern Monroe County are also under severe limits. But the storm here in Baldwin County that has come up from Mobile Bay is the one that we are most concerned about at this point. And this is the storm that has prompted this active tornado warning for southern Baldwin County. We also note there actually is a separate circulation here that could be problematic down the road per se. Here's your circulation that we're tracking near Fairhope right there. There's circulation number 1, but then we also note there's a circulation out here towards Fort Morgan near the end of the peninsula out here that's going to be crossing Bon Secour Bay and Mobile Bay and coming into areas near Bon Secour. So I'm putting you on notice, if you are near Magnolia Springs or Bon Secour, please be ready. We may get another tornado warning, and that could be an issue ultimately for Robertsdale, Summerdale, and Silver Hill. We will worry about that if we get there. But again, possible tornado currently impacting areas near Point Clear and Fairhope. It really looks like the circulation center is right over Point Clear at this point. You see this line that kind of jets out right here. The Grand Hotel sits at the tip of that peninsula that kind of jets out in Mobile Bay. This is clearly going to be an issue right in through here in downtown Fairhope, Alabama over the next 5 minutes. So it can't be stressed enough. If you live in Fairhope, Alabama, we need you to get to a tornado safe place right now. What does that mean? It means the lowest floor of a site-built structure. If you have a basement, that's great. You don't have to be underground to survive a tornado, if indeed there is one down here. But we do need you on the lowest floor of a site-built structure away from windows and away from doors. We want you to put as many walls as you possibly can between you and the outside world. So grab a helmet. That's something else that you can do. We want infants in car seats, all right? The idea is to insulate yourself and insulate children as well. Tornado helmets, that doesn't only apply to children, it applies to adults as well. So again, this possible tornado coming into downtown Fairhope from the southwest, moving just like that, basically paralleling Scenic Highway 98 coming into downtown. I would imagine that we will know in the next little bit if there is indeed something down because this is a very highly populated part of Baldwin County here in the Eastern Shore region. Let's go back over to our reflectivity product, or actually, let's go to the watch warning map if we can. And this is the only tornado warning that we have on the board as of 9:42 p.m. Active tornado watch for the counties in yellow continues until 11 o'clock. That probably will need to be extended, and I expect more counties in northwest Florida and south central Alabama to go under a tornado watch a bit later. So be on the lookout for that. Again, the only warning that we've got as of 9:42 p.m. is happening here in southern Baldwin County. This cell originated actually out over the Gulf of Mexico, crossed the peninsula at Fort Morgan, crossed Mobile Bay, there it comes, and now this thing is right over Fairhope. Let's zoom into the Fairhope area, because again, tracking this possible tornado basically at Fairhope at this point. We're zooming in pretty tight on our radar. And here's the latest volume scan from the local Mobile radar. Just looking at a few other things here. The National Weather Service actually has our radar in what we call a fast scan mode, and so this thing is really going to update quickly as this cell continues moving to the north. It actually looks like the core circulation is right there, perhaps just offshore. And when I say offshore, I mean this may be 50 meters offshore, 100 feet out in Mobile Bay. You may have a water spout still right in through here that's kind of paralleling the coast. And so that would be a good best case scenario for the city of Fairhope. It does look like that circulation center is kind of remaining offshore. Let's show you that on the velocity view. And right in through here is your possible tornado. And so again, it looks like this may be, 50 to 100 feet offshore. I mean, very, very close, and certainly worth everyone remaining in that tornado safe place for the next 5 minutes. You're not going to have to be in this tornado safe place for, an hour. This is going to be a quick deal, and in a matter of moments, we'll be able to give point clear and all clear. We can't do that just yet, but we're well on our way. Again, possible tornado is basically on the shore line of Mobile Bay, moving just like this, very rapidly to the north. Let's go back over to our classic reflectivity view. And downwind of this, let me re-emphasize, if you are in Daphne, if you're in Montrose, if you're in Spanish Fort, areas near Rockwell Elementary School, also near the Eastern Shore Center, Malbus, near the Greek Orthodox Church, right there on 181. You've got the car dealerships. You've got areas near that new Whataburger right there on Highway 90 or near Highway 90. All those areas, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan. Same thing at Thomas Hospital in Fairhope. Back up the road, back up 98 towards the Home Depot, areas near Hobby Lobby, Lake Forest, also areas out here near the Veterans Cemetery off Alabama Highway 225, Stapleton, Holly Hills Country Club, which is right here, Steelwood Country Club, which is right here. All those areas are downwind from this possible tornado that's lifting off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Keep in mind, it's really not raining that much with this storm. This is a very small storm in nature. And on the back rear flank of that is where we find that circulation center that could potentially produce damage as it comes on shore, if it has not already. Let's go back over to our velocity view, because again, this just looks like a bucket of spilled green paint. But if we go into the velocity, we can see clearly there's your circulation center. Let's actually put out a probe on that and kind of sample the winds in through here, because this has kind of ramped down a little bit. Radar is showing 50 mile per hour winds right in through here on this circulation center. Let's actually back it up, and you can see when this was farther south, winds were in excess of 50 miles per hour in through here. And so this circulation center is really hugging that coastline, but it does look weaker than it did even, say, 5 minutes ago. And so that certainly is a good thing. By the way, it's prudent at this point, if you are at Point Clear or points back to the south down here towards Barnwell, we'll give you an all clear. All right, this tornado risk at Point Clear and point south has come to an end. But if you're in Fairhope, you need to stay sheltered for the next, let's give it 2 or 3 minutes. This thing is basically riding the coast, and it looks like this is going to come right into Daphne. In fact, if I back this up, you can kind of see what has transpired here. There was your circulation center out over Mobile Bay at the bottom of your display right there, and you can see that as we move it forward, it kind of is just hugging the coast right in through there. And this signature certainly is weaker than it once was, but this is a tornado warning, and so we need to respect this warning. Again, possible tornado near or perhaps just offshore from Fairhope, coming into areas near Montrose, which sits right here, and also into Daphne. Possible tornado doing just like that, moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. That signature is certainly not going away quickly, though. It is still there, and we note that the Weather Service is continuing this possible, or I should say this tornado warning until 10:15 p.m. Seeing the latest data coming in from the Weather Service, let's go back over to the radar view and show you where this storm is. Again, this is not a large storm at all right? And keep in mind, all of the green that you see out and through here is not necessarily rain falling. Some of this may be ground clutter with this storm kind of moving through it. We'll zoom in real tight on the storm as it stands right now, moving into Montrose and Daphne. Again, here's US Highway 98, the main north-south drag that connects Interstate 10 right here, all the way back down to downtown Fairhope. Here's Montrose, the historic district of Montrose right here. Bell Forest is right here. I said Lake Forest earlier. It's Bell Forest. I apologize. Bell Forest is here. You've got also Daphne involved in this tornado warning polygon. And again, farther to the north, this does include Spanish Fort. If you're in Spanish Fort, you remain under this tornado warning. Same thing at Malvis, same thing at the Eastern Shore Center, near Rockwell Elementary School. You've also got areas near Buckingham Boulevard right there in the curve of Highway 31. Being a safe place right now. Just looking at our sources here to see what we've got going on. Current time is 9:48 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. And again, downwind from this, we're looking at Bromley, kind of next in line to see this possible tornado if it holds its strength. This goes all the way up to Crossroads. There's literally a crossroads there. Come out of Bay Minette, come to the south, you get to Crossroads. There's a big red fire department here on the north side of the road. On the south side of the road, you got the Dollar General and the gas station there at Crossroads. So if you know that area, Durant Baptist Church, I believe it is, right in through there, please be in a safe place as this possible tornado continues moving off to the north. Yeah, let's go back over to the velocity view and I'll show you where the circulation is. Because again, in Fairhope, let's give it 1 to 2 more minutes. 1 to 2 more minutes and I'll be able to give you an all clear. Keep in mind, the polygon still technically goes right over Fairhope, but your circulation center is clearly right here in the eastern part of Mobile Bay, the Eastern Shore region, coming into Daphne and Montrose. And so it looks like this is going to be more of a deal for Daphne at this point. We showed you this a second ago on velocity. The circulation has kind of been hugging the coast of Mobile Bay, which is a good thing. We want this thing to remain offshore so it won't do damage. And hopefully what happens, this signature will continue to broaden out somewhat as it lifts off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. At this point, though, it is prudent to say if you are in the city limits of Fairhope, Alabama, we'll give you a tornado all clear. The danger has passed you, and this is clearly an issue for Montrose, Daphne, Bell Forest, and also Spanish Fort. All right, so those are the areas currently involved in the active tornado warning polygon. But Fairhope points south. We'll give you an all clear. You can come out of that tornado hiding place if you are in Fairhope, Alabama at this point. Let's go back over to our classic reflectivity view. And again, very heavy rain happening right now along the County Highway 64 corridor there in Baldwin County, coming out of Daphne. Let's zoom into the storm. This is the thing that has caused the tornado warning. And just to get your bearings straight, here's the city of Mobile. This is the Bayway here. Here's the causeway. This is becomes US Highway 31. This is US Highway 98 here. You've got Alabama Highway 181 right there. This is going to be County Highway 64. And if you're familiar with this area, you know that you've got the Target and the Chick-fil-A right here at the intersection of 64 and 98. The Eastern Shore Center sits right here. And then the other shopping center, the other big one anyway, is the Home Depot, Hobby Lobby areas near Dick's Sporting Goods, Taco Mama right there on the other side of the road near Highway 90. All right, so all those areas that I just called out, you're really under the gun at this point from this possible tornado. I'll be honest though, the signature is very weak in nature, and that's what we want to see. Hopefully, we'll see a cancellation of this shortly. We do have a message from the Weather Service, and I'm going to read that verbatim to you. The rotation has continued to weaken with the tornado-warned storm over eastern Mobile Bay, but they are watching to see if this recycles. And so if it does not reorganize in the next few minutes, they are going to cancel this warning. But what that means is if you're in Daphne, Montrose, Spanish Fort, Malbus, or areas near Bromley, you continue to be under the tornado warning probably for the next, say, 3 to 5 minutes. This is not going to be a deal that lasts longer than, say, 20 minutes or anything like that. And I realize it's very inconvenient, especially if you've got young kids in a tornado-safe place. That can get, trying in a hurry. But I promise, hang out in that safe space. I'll be able to give you an all clear, hopefully in the next 3 to 5 minutes. Let's go back over to the velocity view, and this will kind of demonstrate exactly what I've been saying. That signature is just, it's there. Don't get me wrong. There is a bit of weak rotation, but I would imagine at this point that this thing probably is not producing a water spout. But you know the drill. Longtime viewers and readers know that when you're under a tornado warning, you respect it, you do the right thing, you have a tornado helmet on, and you remain sheltered until this warning is canceled. And so with that said, Daphne, Spanish Fort, Malbus, those are kind of your 3 zones out ahead of this that are in the imminent danger zone per se. If there's a tornado down in through here or a water spout about to come on shore, that's the zone where it would happen. Again, if you're just now joining us, current time is 9:53 p.m. and we've given an all clear to Fairhope, Point Clear, and Barnwell down to the south. Those are the communities out of the tornado warning polygon at this point, which is a good thing. You don't want to be involved in the red zone or the polygon. Let's zoom out on our radar. And we continue to be in this fast update mode on our radar, which is good, so we can get a good low-level indication of what's happening down here. And let's zoom into the storm. That thing is really, really kicking along at about 50 miles an hour. Yeah, they've let the tornado warning go. They have canceled the tornado warning. The Weather Service has said, nope, it's done. The tornado risk is so low that they are canceling the warning as of 9:54 p.m. And so what that means is the entirety of Baldwin County, Alabama, I can give you a tornado warning all clear as of 9:54 p.m. If you've been doing the right thing in that tornado hiding place, you can come out of that and you're A-OK as of now. If we get more tornado warnings later, you may have to go back into that safe place, but as of now, all clear for Daphne, Spanish Fort, Fairhope, Montrose, Malbus, areas near Stapleton, White House Forks, Bromley, Crossroads, all clear for now. And so we are done with that tornado warning. So with that said, let's look at what we have going on across the entire region, because unfortunately we still have a severe weather risk over the next few hours, and I've got some updated graphics to share with you in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what's happening out there as of 9:55 p.m. We've got strong storms happening back across Mississippi, and I'm using the word strong intentionally. These are not severe thunderstorms as of 9:55 p.m. Yes, raining like cats and dogs in through here from Biloxi back up to Lucedale, up to areas near Waynesboro here in Mississippi, but these storms are below severe limits. We had a horrible tornado move through parts of the New Orleans metropolitan area back in Louisiana about 2 hours ago. From what I understand, there has been a large swath of intense tornado damage in the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. And so those are the initial reports coming out of New Orleans. Unfortunately, a major tornado has affected a major American city in the form of eastern part of New Orleans down and through here. The storms responsible for that are now out over the Mississippi Sound, and those are going to push into our area. And so the chance of us across our entire region having another tornado warning or 2 or 3 in the hours ahead remains pretty high. And so you got to have a way to get the warnings before you go to sleep. Let's zoom in on some of these affected areas as far as what we've got going on right now. We'll start in the north and come back to the south. And if I don't call you out, it's not that I'm ignoring you, but we focus on what's happening now during these live severe weather coverage hits. And so first thing, let's talk about what's happening in West Alabama. This area had a ton of tornado warnings earlier. Active weather happening right now in parts of Choctaw, Clark, and Washington counties. Very heavy rain happening along the Alabama Highway 17 corridor from Silas and Toxey back down to Chatham and areas near Yarbo and Jordan. You've also got heavy rain falling south of Grove Hill. Not a lot of lightning in these storms, but we do note there is some lightning and thunder involved in places like Silas, Toxey, areas back here near State Line, Mississippi as well. Let's scroll down a bit, because we do have storms firing back here in Mississippi. This is called a special weather statement, and that's kind of the product below a severe thunderstorm warning. And so what that means is you could have 40-mile-per-hour winds in through here in places like Biloxi, back over to Pass Christian, in Harrison County and Jackson County in Mississippi. Very heavy rain with that storm. Let's pan offshore a bit and show you kind of what's coming into our area. These storms are strong, and these could be producing water spouts out here over the Mississippi Sound just to the east of Louisiana. You've also got storms firing south of Baldwin County. Let's actually zoom into those storms because those look mighty suspicious on radar. And yeah, they are heavily rotating. Let's zoom in first on reflectivity and we'll kind of show you this. This storm near Barnwell, near Magnolia Springs, near Clay City, coming into Silver Hill, just to the west of Foley. This is under severe limits, so no issues with that storm in Baldwin County. But this one is really showing signs of rotation. That is a supercell thunderstorm about 10 to 15 miles south of Fort Morgan. Let's actually put the measuring tool out on that and see. There's Fort Morgan. And this storm is what? About 17 miles to the south of Fort Morgan, about 15 to 20 miles, let's say, south of Fort Morgan. And so moving at about 50 miles per hour, quick math, that's going to be, say, 15 minutes from now, we'll know if we're going to need a tornado warning in parts of southern Baldwin County. And so I'm putting you on notice, Fort Morgan, back over to Gulf Shores, Bon Secour, Magnolia Springs, Clay City, Barnwell. Another storm is pushing in from the Gulf of Mexico. This one has a little bit of a different angle of trajectory here, and it could move into the land areas of Baldwin County, a little bit unlike what we saw a minute ago with that tornado-warned storm that kind of hugged the coast there in eastern Mobile Bay. I think this one's going to be a little bit farther to the east, and thus this may be a bit more impactful to parts of Baldwin County. And so tell you what, let's just kind of keep it here and keep our coverage rolling for the next few minutes. In fact, we're coming up on 10 p.m. We'll kind of do a reset because, again, we very well may get another tornado warning for Baldwin County in the next little bit. Let's go over to our iPad source, and just to set the scene for you, the Alabama beaches are right in through here, all right? This is Gulf Shores here, Orange Beach here, Fort Morgan is here, Dauphin Island is here. And so these are rotating storms about 15 miles south of Fort Morgan that are going to be pushing in just like that. Lots of lightning with these storms, and that's one of the things we observe, especially at night, to see if the updrafts are sustainable and potentially supportive of tornadoes, really. And so we do see a good bit of lightning in these areas of rotation about 15 miles offshore. Could get another tornado warning in the next little bit for Baldwin County. All right, let's go to the big radar view because it is now 11 p.m. in the east. It is 8 p.m. out west, and it is 10 p.m. on the dot here in South Alabama and Northwest Florida, where we are in the middle of a tornado watch that's going to continue into the overnight hours. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. We just wrapped up a tornado warning for parts of the eastern shore region of Baldwin County. That tornado warning is now off of the board, and we have numerous thunderstorms happening across the western part of our local area. Coming in from Mississippi, this is your main batch of thunderstorms that's going to cause all of the issues in the overnight hours. You got to have a way to get the warnings if you're headed to sleep over the next hour or two. You got to have something that will wake you up, because I do expect more in the way of tornado warnings in the hours ahead. Let's switch over to our graphics and show you the latest as far as where we are, there's your active tornado watch. And if I call you out, you're under this tornado watch until 11 p.m. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got an extension until, say, 3 or 4 in the morning. If I call your county out, you're involved. Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, Alabama, Conecuh, Butler, Wilcox, Monroe, Clark, Marengo, Choctaw, Washington, and also Escambia County in Northwest Florida under an active tornado watch technically until 11 o'clock tonight. All right, so that's your tornado watch. Let's advance this forward and see if we can show you the latest convective outlook, because I have had several questions about this over the last hour or so. In fact, my clicker has failed. So tell you what, let's go back over to the radar while I fix that. And again, watching this situation in offshore very carefully, as we may have another tornado warning in the next little bit for southern Baldwin County. We'll zoom into that area because, again, that's what we're going to be watching over the next little bit. And again, pardon me as I step off camera to grab this secondary clicker so that we can show you exactly what's going to happen in the hours ahead. Here we go. So again, that's the radar as it stands right now. Current time is now 10:03 p.m. Supercell thunderstorm located about 12 miles south of Fort Morgan, moving very quickly at about 50 to 55 miles per hour towards Baldwin County. We'll see if the Weather Service decides to issue a tornado warning for that. However, I do want to show you the latest convective outlook. Here's the one from earlier. This is the one that all the hullabaloo was about. We had this level 4 risk in place. Here's the latest one as it stands right now. So what the Storm Prediction Center has opted to do, again, there's the old one. Here's the updated view. SPC has decided to extend this level 3 risk a bit farther to the east. And this is more of a technicality at this point because storms are in progress. But what this means is that more potentially intense thunderstorms will be possible in the overnight hours. Again, just underscoring the need to have a way to get the warnings in the overnight hours. So that's kind of the latest convective outlook. We will continue to monitor that as well in the hours ahead. Let's go back over to our big radar view. And again, just kind of working our way around the region. I should mention as well, for folks that may be watching in Luverne, Greenville, Georgiana, McKenzie, Andalusia, Opp, Bruton, East Bruton, Flomaton, Evergreen, Monroeville, Repton. All these areas, we have not been talking about you much so far tonight, and that's because all the issues have been to your west. Same thing in Northwest Florida. It's not that we're ignoring you, but all the issues have been to your west. Pensacola, Pace, Milton, Navarre, Berrydale, Jay, Munson, Crestview, Baker, Holt, Niceville, Destin. All those areas. We're going to talk about you if you go under a warning. I promise. It's not that we're ignoring you. But again, all of the issues so far today have been to your west. And again, the reason we're keeping it here is because we have these storms that have fired up south of Fort Morgan that we believe have a pretty decent shot of becoming tornadic as they approach the shore here in southern Baldwin County. Let me stress, though, as of 10:05 p.m., we have no active tornado warnings for any part of South Alabama or Northwest Florida. But again, we're keeping our coverage going for the next few minutes anyway to see what the Weather Service is going to do and if they're going to issue a tornado warning for southern Baldwin County. Let's go back over to our velocity view, and I'll show you what I'm most concerned about in these storms. Again, just setting the scene for you here. This is Dauphin Island here. This is DIP and the bridge. You cross the ferry there at the inner entrance of Mobile Bay, get to Fort Morgan, which sits right here. You've got a ton of little beach communities in through here between Fort Morgan all the way back over to Gulf Shores. These are the storms that I'm most concerned about, and these are rotating thunderstorms that could be likely are producing a water spout. That right there is circulation number 1, and that right there is circulation number 2. And so if I back this up, you can kind of see the general range of motion is just like that, just a bit to the east of due north. And so on that trajectory, we may be getting a tornado warning in the next, say, 5 to 10 minutes for parts of southern Baldwin County. We will let you know if and when that happens. But again, for folks near Gulf Highlands or Cedar Grove, or just thinking about the communities in between Fort Morgan and Gulf Shores there, that's State Highway 180, all right? State Highway 180 runs from Fort Morgan back over to Gulf Shores. That's technically Fort Morgan Road, but it's branded as Alabama Highway 180. And so if you live near Alabama Highway 180 on the Bay side or the Gulf side, I'm putting you on notice. You may have a tornado warning in the next 5 to 10 minutes as we continue to watch these storms move just like that. And ultimately, downwind of that, this could ultimately cross the southern part of Mobile Bay out towards Bon Secour Bay right here. And these storms may push in just like that into areas near Magnolia Springs, Yupon, also areas near Foley, and ultimately perhaps even areas near Summerdale. So that's kind of the zone that we're going to be watching over the next 5 to 10 minutes to see if indeed we get another tornado warning. Current time is 10:07 10:07 p.m. And let's go back over to the big radar view, and I want to show you the entire region. No tornado warnings as of 10:08 p.m. Hopefully we can keep it that way, but I'm not too optimistic about that as we continue to watch these cells south of Baldwin County moving towards Baldwin County. And like we've been talking about over the last few days, these are those supercell storms out ahead of the main batch of storms that still have to work through our local area. And so main batch of storms back in southern Mississippi, southeastern Mississippi really, and see all this mess down in the Mississippi Sound. There is a northward component of motion here. And so these storms could be problematic for parts of Mobile County in the next hour. All right, so putting you on notice, any part of Mobile County, be ready. You may go under a tornado warning. In fact, you're most likely to go under a tornado warning with these supercells arriving from the Gulf of Mexico. But again, we are continuing our coverage as of 10:09 p.m., mainly due to these storms in the northern Gulf of Mexico that could imminently pose a problem for Baldwin County. I see that we've got a new special weather statement that has been issued for parts of Washington, Choctaw, and Clark counties. And these are general thunderstorms. These thunderstorms could produce winds up to 40 miles per hour in nature, could blow around some yard furniture and things like that. This storm is moving northeast at 51 miles per hour. So all this mess back here in Washington, Choctaw, and Clark counties is moving just like that. On that trajectory, Grove Hill, Thomasville, Fulton, areas near Dickinson, Springfield, Sand Flats, Salitpa, those areas going to have very heavy rain and stormy weather over the next hour. And the severe weather risk is not over just yet for any area in our local region. And so definitely something to watch inland as those storms continue to move off to the northeast. But again, this is why we're here. This storm out over the Gulf, let's kind of do a measurement here and see from Gulf Highlands, which is right there on Alabama Highway 180, to the storm. Really, the main part of the storm is going to be on the back flank of this, is about 15 miles away. But it's about to start raining in the next 5 to 10 minutes as the rain from this storm begins moving into the peninsula here, all the way out to Gulf Shores. So again, watching this storm very carefully, and we're going to continue to watch it as we continue to track what could be a tornadic storm over the next few minutes. I'll be honest, I think the velocities have come down a bit in the last frame or two, which is good. Hopefully that trend will continue, and it may be a deal like what we saw on the eastern side of Mobile Bay with the storm near Fairhope and Daphne that ultimately just collapsed. I have had no reports of damage from that storm so far. If you have damage, let me know in the comments below if you're watching on Facebook Live, and I'll be sure to relay that to our friends at the National Weather Service. But good news, I have heard of no reports of damage out of Baldwin County from that storm. We have had damage in West Alabama earlier tonight. In fact, let me show you that on our map We'll zoom out and show you the entire region and put this into motion. Current time 10:11 p.m. on this stormy Tuesday night. And the damage so far today has been limited in our local area to Choctaw and Clark counties. Trees down, structures damaged due to a likely tornado that passed through the western part of Clark County, and then a separate tornado caused damage in parts, likely tornado I should say, caused damage in parts of Choctaw County near Gilbertown. That's the latest from the emergency management over in West Alabama, and that lines up perfectly with what we've been advertising. This was the zone involved in the level 4 risk earlier today. Keep in mind, though, a vast majority of us across Southwest Alabama and Northwest Florida tonight are still involved in this level 3 risk. If you're just now tuning in, I'll show you the latest convective outlook, and this was shifted a bit farther to the east. And so basically from Perdido Key to Pensacola, Milton, Pace, Roberts, Greenville, Georgiana points back to the west involved in this level 3 risk in the overnight hours. So we are nowhere close to being done just yet with this severe weather event. I have to tell you though, these velocities have come down a good bit on these storms in the northern Gulf, and that's a good thing. Let's go back into the storms that we were most concerned about. There we go. And again, just to paint the picture, here's Dauphin Island. This is Mobile Bay here. This is southern Baldwin County here, and the Alabama beaches are right here. So these storms are just offshore and very well could be producing a water spout with a signature like that. But they're not what they once were about 10 to 15 minutes ago, which is a good thing. Hopefully these storms continue to move our way and just fizzle on out. That's kind of the best case scenario. But as I always say, it's good to have hope, but hope is not a plan. So be ready for a possible tornado warning in about 5 to 10 minutes in southern Baldwin County. We'll keep watching that storm, but what we're going to do over the next few minutes is going back to covering these storms in the Red Zone Weather app. All right, so we're going back into the app to cover the storms. If we have another tornado warning, of course, we will pop back on Facebook Live to bring you the very latest. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson saying goodbye for now. I suspect we'll see you in just a little bit.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.